Well, we can speak now to David Hammond, who's a barrister who founded the Human Rights at Sea initiative, which represents migrants and campaigns to improve maritime human rights. Thank you very much for talking to us. There does seem to be an increase in cases like this. I mean, we've just had two in a matter of days of the discovery of migrants crammed aboard a cargo ship and apparently abandoned by the crew.
Yes, I mean, we've seen two cases, but I certainly believe that this is the tip of the iceberg. Our organisation is anecdotally and indeed first-hand hearing from migrants and the journeys that they are undertaking, be it from Egypt, Libya, or indeed from the Lebanese coast. And this is common.
And is this just an indication of how many people there are who are desperate to flee to Europe, or is it an increase in the sorts of gangs who are exploiting these people?
I think it's a bit of both. The states from which these migrants are coming, are themselves in turmoil, and that is an environment that's effectively a breeding ground for criminality. And for the criminal gangs, the human trafficking gangs, they are simply taking advantage of, for them, a resource, and it's simply all about money for them, nothing to do with human rights.
This clearly leaves some of those migrants in a really desperate situation, but what is the solution here?
A very good question. From our perspective, the first issue is one of education of everybody's entitlement to human rights, including those of the migrants, but really it's the remedy of those abuses, in relation to those abuses, and it's the responsibilities for the likes of the flag states who license these vessels, as well as the ship owners. If they aren't brought to account, then the platforms upon which the migrants are being smuggled will continue to move across the Mediterranean. We need to have remedies for those abuses and find people accountable.
But presumably it's very, very difficult indeed to police these sorts of things. You have got ship owners and ship licenses which go across many international borders, the gangs that are exploiting the loopholes here.
You're absolutely right, and where do you start is really the question. The real concern that we have as an organisation was that until 10 months ago this issue really wasn't being explicitly discussed, and what we would like to see is some urgent constabulary and judicial actions taken that highlight individuals who have been precipitating these crimes and are found accountable, and that is going to, we hope, send a clear message.
What about the attitude of countries like Italy that are having to cope with this? Do you think that they have the right attitude, given that they are clearly going to be concerned about the scale of migration into the country?
Well, forgive me, I can't make comments on individual states' positions, but from my own experience, and recently I was in Rome at the Fundamental Rights Conference, and speaking to my Italian colleagues, they have been very driven to do something about this. The Mare Nostrum operation was an excellent example of somebody actually doing something about the issue. Really, this is an EU issue and has to be looked at from an EU perspective.
Okay, David Hammond.